They talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you with us, whether you're watching or listening today. Better Business Bureau's Marilyn Huffman is back with us. Hello.
Good morning.
We're actually going to do two shows with Marilyn. We're going to be talking about scams today, and then we're going to talk a little bit about some holiday safety as well in the next show. So BBB.org is the website, right? That's where we need to go.
That's correct, yes.
BBB. Now, when I went to the website today, it asked me for permission to say where it is I was searching from, which I had not had that before.
That's new. They have been working on updating the site, making it more user-friendly, kind of narrowing down the search. Okay. But by narrowing, also broadening. So there's less details needed so that it can help you find what you're looking for just a little bit easier. It's been a process. It's been at least 2 years, if not a little bit longer, and they're still in the process of working on it. It's just constantly changing. Because
I noticed when I went to it, it was located somewhere in the country. I can't remember where it was saying, Illinois or Louisiana or something like that. And it said, will you allow us to know where you're searching from? And I hit allow, and then whoop, Cottonwood popped up. I thought, oh, okay. This makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bring it home. Okay.
That's right.
So you contacted me, and we do this every year with you, where we talk scams.
Correct.
And this year we have had some very interesting tragedies take place. We've got the hurricanes, threefold. We've got the Las Vegas mass shooting that took place up there. Those are just the recent ones. Now we've got the massive wildfires burning in California. I think it's 40-some people died. Hundreds and hundreds of homes and businesses destroyed by these raging fires that just raced across the landscape and took everything in their path. So pulling on the heartstrings. Big time, across the nation.
That's right.
I mean, people want to give, and help, but that does open the door for some pretty nasty people to come in and say, oh, they give us the money and we'll make sure it gets to where it needs to go.
Correct.
So let's talk a little bit about that. What are some of the things we're talking about here when it comes to these kind of scams?
Well, you're right. They absolutely know how to tug on those heartstrings, and they, unfortunately, scammers, they don't care. So to them, it's just an opportunity to make money.
They're criminals.
Exactly, exactly. There is no thought for that, like they should feel bad about what they're doing. That's just not.
They don't have those heartstrings.
No, it's not in their capacity to do that. So we saw it even just locally here with the firefighters, the 19 firefighters when they were killed. Exactly. Yeah. I got a call at I worked at our Phoenix office at the time doing mediation, and I got a call the next morning after that tragedy had happened, and someone saying, I think I just gave my credit card to a scammer.
Oh boy.
I mean, it doesn't take long. It can happen immediately, and nowadays, because there's so many different available sites online for crowdfunding, for fundraising, you will see things posted, and they'll pull on people's heartstrings because it will be about a specific family. They'll take one of the victims from the Vegas area, and they'll target people specifically that are from the same state that person was from, and make it look as if you are giving money directly to that family who's going to be mourning and having to pay for funeral costs and all of this kind of stuff. And it's amazing to me what is out there and how quickly they will jump on that.
Does it amaze you right now? Because I think to myself, okay, if I had heard that Marilyn Huffman's family was devastated in this fire, I'm pretty sure if I type in your name, Facebook, I probably get all kinds of information about you, even if it's, I mean, some of it's blocked.
Right.
But there's ways to get past some of those blocks, isn't there?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So they can definitely find out information and obviously for small amounts of money, they can invest a little bit of time, do a little bit of research, and then quickly build a page.
I bet it's pretty cheap too. Well, to be honest with you, I bet it's pretty cheap. Just to set up a website. What is the one where you can like if I broke my arm and say, oh, Paul David broke his arm, he needs money to help pay for the broken arm.
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe is probably one of the largest ones out there. But there's a ton of crowdfunding sites. So people use it to start businesses. They use it to pay for medical costs that they can't afford, raise money because I need a liver transplant. I mean, it'll blow your mind.
yeah, that's all out there.
And absolutely, when it comes to horrible situations such as this, that's definitely utilized in a negative way to raise money, and they express it as if they're going to be sending money to those people. There's still hundreds of people missing in California. I mean, we don't even know the extent of what we're looking at here. Right now, the biggest thing, of course, is to support by sending supplies. That's what's really going to make a difference. So if you go to our website, we always are going to be listing for any kind of natural disaster, whether it's the hurricanes, whether it's something like the fire, whether it's not a natural disaster and it's more like the Vegas mass shooting. We will be putting out always updates on what charities to give to, what charities we have vetted, and not just us, but these are approved charities. They're accredited charities. They have their licensing if they need certain licensing through the state. They are open and honest about where their money goes. They're open and honest about where the products go. They're always under fire. It's true. A lot of big charities definitely are in the spotlight, and so they have people who, of course, are going to accuse them of maybe not being on the up and up, so they're constantly having to prove themselves. But that's kind of the territory. That comes with the territory.
Red Cross jumps into my mind. I just know that if I give to the Red Cross, if there's a disaster taking place, wherever it may be, that money goes towards there.
That's correct. So do supplies, absolutely.
But there are local charities in the individual towns and cities and stuff like that as well.
Always. And sometimes giving locally can be a little bit safer because you can see. You can actually, there's a brick and mortar building that you could go to maybe to make a donation. They participate or help locally. That's just, I guarantee you that is happening even right now in Vegas. In California, that there are local people coming together. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't large charities out there like the Red Cross coming in to help those people. That's absolutely what they do. But they're assisting, and then you have the local people who are. It's just really, really smart to do your research before you decide to give out. Because not only if you're giving money, you're not just giving money, you're giving your private information to these people. If you're doing it online, maybe you don't have the ability to take a week off and go and help like some people do with charities like the Red Cross.
On site.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So a lot of us, we can't help in that manner. We have jobs, we have other things that we have going, but we still want to feel as if we can contribute. So it's just one way of doing it, but always check it out. It's
like an eggshell world right now. You really got to be careful when you're out there, where you're giving your money and your information, especially your information, because they'll just take that and run away with it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's so much, as we know, Equifax, just there are breaches constantly. There was Target a few years ago. It was Yahoo. I think Yahoo still holds the prize for the largest breach ever. And that, it wasn't as if Yahoo was like, hey, I think today we're going to start the day with a breach.
Right.
It wasn't a planned thing. Exactly. They do their best to protect us, the consumer, but we also have to do our part as much as possible. That's, maintaining, just paying attention to your accounts, paying attention to what's going on.
Okay.
Be helpful.
All right. Yeah, be wary. We'll take a first break. Better
Absolutely.
Business Bureau's Marilyn Huffman in studio today. Website real simple, bbb.org. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
The Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber.
You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness. When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Welcome back to Countywide. Marilyn Huffman from the Better Business Bureau is in studio, bbb.org. We were just talking off camera. Charities sometimes will contact me. I'll get emails from charities and say, hey, Paul, we need your help. How about blah, blah, blah. Should be probably weary of that. Should they be contacting us?
I would say anyone contacting you, not you reaching out, is just a little bit of a red flag. Exercise caution.
Okay.
Definitely do your research. If it's a local charity, if they're claiming to be firefighters, you know.
There was that scam we were talking. That's exactly
the
this
police
is the exact
balls,
one. Right.
all of that stuff.
We had firemen. I had some people from fire agency call me and say, hey, we're raising funds for this firefighter charity, blah blah blah. And it turned out they weren't even in Arizona. And then I had the police one too. And I just always a little skeptical. But we do have local charities now, and we've actually had them in, and we've sat down with firefighter charities and local police charities. And I've noticed that over the last couple of years, that's kind of how things have changed a little bit now, is where we do have locals setting up. Instead of them being a branch connected with this charity, it's like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and just do our own thing here. So yeah, like you mentioned in the first segment, check local. Call your local police agency. Call your local fire agency, right?
Find out if it's really them. They'll tell you.
Yeah, and if they do have a charity, they'll tell you what it is.
Correct.
And then you can donate to that. And then countywide too. There's charities that are based out of the county too. So contact the county.
Yavapai County.
You know, just start
call them.
Picking away at them, and eventually you'll find out where it goes.
Absolutely, you can find out a lot usually from their websites, but you can also make a phone call if that's easier for you.
You know, we talk about shop local all the time, but you know, maybe donate charity local too, especially in terms of tragedies.
Be smart.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, and then the money stays local and helps take care of.
And you can see what happens
and
with
your
it.
own.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's change gears.
Okay.
Marilyn wants to talk about puppies. It's so sad. Puppies.
It is heart-wrenching, actually. But yes, it's our #1 scam that we saw this year.
Unbelievable.
It was. It's a growing scam. I don't think it's actually done with its growth, and it's unfortunate. But we had several BBBs come together and put together a huge study over the last year about puppy scams, specifically online.
Okay.
And that's just because more and more we are seeing things being sold online, and we are seeing consumers purchasing online. It's not all going to the store
hands
anymore.
On and seeing with your own, it's in your hands. It's not that anymore.
It's not that anymore.
It's a picture on a screen.
That's right.
Buy.
That is correct. And that's what we have discovered is approximately 80% of all of those online websites are fraudulent. They're just containing pictures of cute puppies.
80%.
Approximately 80%, yeah.
Wow, that's a high number.
It's incredibly high.
Yeah.
So just something to be aware of as you are shopping online, and especially as we're coming into the holiday season and people are wanting, you know, kids want that cute little kitten or that cute little puppy or that cute little bunny or whatever it might happen to be. Online victims, they're hooked by cute photos. I mean, that's you know, we all like fun videos online. And
can you talk about any of the complaints that you've had in terms of what's happened?
Actually, yes, we have.
Okay.
We have reports. I have a page of reports that
Not to scare people, but this is what's happening out there.
That's absolutely
let's
right.
bring some reality here with this one.
I have a page I could read you, but I picked a couple. We had a victim that was a consumer in Illinois.
Okay.
who was duped by a scammer, $700 MoneyGram payment for a Weimaraner puppy that she just fell in love with. The consumer realized that they'd been scammed, and when the supposed seller then asked for an additional $1,400 to be able to ship the dog, that's when the consumer said, wait a second, what's going on? And then, of course, never received the dog and never got the money back. That's what I mean. It was just probably a cute picture of a puppy online.
Oh my gosh.
Now, it's not all through MoneyGrams. A consumer in California reported that she lost almost $1,000 after agreeing to pay to have a teacup Yorkie shipped to her. So the puppy itself was considered free. It was a rescue puppy. They were overbreeding, and she was basically only paying to have the puppy shipped. So they kind of draw you in with that. The dog itself is only free. You're only going to have to pay for us to get it to you.
But some of the gimmick is too. Some of this money is going to go towards stopping this from happening.
Oh.
You know, we're going to make sure that these puppy mills are shut down. So part of the funds you send will ship the dog to you. Plus, we're going to help to shut these down and take care of medical bills for their dogs. And wow, there's those heartstrings again. Just yank, yank, yank.
Once again,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Making you think that you're contributing
Right.
in some positive fashion when really all you're doing is falling in love with a cute little picture and a great story.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, losing your money, never seeing that again, and obviously never receiving the dog. Now, last year I did a report, and a couple of the stories that we had were local. And it was people who had done the same type of thing where they had purchased from someone in a different state. They were paying to have the dog shipped. Or one person was driving a couple of hours to a different city here in Arizona to pick up the dog, got the dog home, the dog died. I mean, we're talking a puppy that's, 6 weeks old, and it's sickly, and it's just, you have to really, really be cautious. There are steps that you can take to protect yourself.
Tell us.
Well, first of all, to physically see the dog, obviously, and to physically meet the breeder. If they're a good breeder, and it's true, it's a very small percentage of breeders are actually certified through the American Kennel Club. So in other words, recognized as a breeder who knows what they're doing.
AKC.
Correct,
Right, okay.
AKC. And you can check that out. You can look that up online. Okay. You can give them a call to find out if the breeder that you're working with, they may even suggest breeders, I don't know, but you'd have to contact them to find out. But it's such a small percentage. Everyone else is just kind of winging it, which is why you get dogs that are sickly. If you don't mix up bloodlines, it can get nasty.
Right.
And so there can be a lot of that where you do get a dog and you fall in love with this puppy. We had the lady that reported it last year. It was, I want to say close to $5,000 that she invested in getting this dog healthy again.
Oh, wow.
Not all stories end that way where the dog actually did survive.
Right.
A lot of them end the way that the previous story ended, where they were out a couple $1,000s and this dog
I doubt there's refunds on puppies anyways.
If you go to a reputable breeder, if there's a problem with the dog, the breeder will take the dog back.
Okay.
And they will offer some type of refund, or you will have some kind of recourse available to you if it's a reputable breeder.
Okay, wow. Gonna take another break.
Sure.
BBB.org is the website. Better Business Bureau's Marilyn Huffleman in the studio today. Stick around, countywide. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
To me, I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
she doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh.
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah, I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber.
You're listening to The Weekend.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a couple minutes left in the program. Marilyn Huffman in studio from the Better Business Bureau, BBB.org. Check out their website. It's really easy to maneuver around and all kinds of information. We only managed to hit 2 subjects today, and we've got a ton of paper in front of us. But we talked about the puppy scams, and we talked about the charity scams. And is it charity, or is it just the pull on your heartstrings disaster type scams? Is so that's
Correct.
2 of them. But I guess the message we're really trying to get out today is just, in this day and age of things aren't always right in front of you where you're seeing them with your own eyes, and a lot of it's on a screen in front of you, you really got to be careful. And we mentioned it before the show. You reminded me that it's the millennials now that are kind of the targets anymore. They're more susceptible to this stuff.
I don't even know that they have to be targeted. They're the ones online.
Yeah.
So they are online more, and because they are, then the age bracket is growing. So
Bang, bang, bang.
it kind
It's
of
just coming in, yeah.
Absolutely. So more and more of us are learning how to do what they do and shop online and take advantage of that. And so the more we are online, the more susceptible we could be. So it's definitely something that we have to be cautious about. And like you said, things change so fast. We were also talking before the show, I used to be able to say the IRS will never call you, and lo and behold, actually that's not true.
That's changed as well.
That has changed as well. Now they will still contact you via mail first. They will provide a phone number for you to call to get in touch with them, because they are collecting on previous debts or people who owe back taxes at this point in time. And then once they've established with you that you have a debt, by you contacting them, then they have the right to call you. There's four big companies that are taking over the collection of this. So this is a huge change. It's just happened in the last year and a half, 2 years.
Right. Last time you were here, we were talking about this.
Yes, and I've talked about it on other radio shows I've done. I've had other hosts that have brought in people from the FBI to talk about the change, people from the IRS to talk about it. It's just, our world is a very beautiful world and also a very scary world at the same time. So I think that it is right for us to exercise caution.
It's easy to, when I think of something I want, I'm getting it, and I'm getting it right now, and I'm going to get it the easiest way I can get it, because I don't like to be inconvenienced. But
right.
I need to pull the reins back on myself sometimes on something like that, where you just need to slow down and take a look at stuff. That HTTPS is really important.
Absolutely. The S stands for secure.
HTTP alone is something you should see in front of websites. If you don't see it in front of a website, don't click on it. Don't be like me, because all of a sudden your computer just does not work right anymore. So right. HTTP is beautiful, but HTTP and then that S at the end of it means secure.
It means that you are on a secure site and would be able to enter your personal information, pay for something, and not have to worry about.
It should be guarded.
That's what they're basically telling you, is that we have paid extra money to protect your information.
Okay.
And when you give to a charity, your information is out there. Now that charity has the right to sell your name and address, so that maybe another charity that's related to that could try to seek funding from you. And we want to help. So this is how these things get started. Protect your identification as much as possible. And if you have the right online to check a little box saying, no, I don't want you to give out my information,
check it.
Your bank asks you when you go and open up an account. So you have the right to say, to limit where your information goes, but you have to pay attention and you have to take the time to make sure that they're aware of that.
We're out of time. Marilyn, thank you so much
Thank you so much for
coming
having
in
me.
and talking about these scams. The Better Business Bureau, again, Marilyn Huffman, BBB.org. That's the website. Simple as that. This is Countywide. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.